good. Don't see any glitches. All right. So, welcome to Kotsko's Corner, episode 3. Today, we're going to be talking some BWBL Wiffle review last week and preview week number 3. So, getting into it, well, all 4 games, all 4 series were sweeps. So you're going to hear sweep a lot in this one. So, our first series of the day, we actually got an out on the first out. We got one out, but it was actually funny. No, it actually was weird. It was like, well, the leadoff guy never showed up for the Owls, and we started the game with one out. But, to say it, RK defeated Jenkins Owls 14-2. Jacob Hunter hit 2 home runs, and he drove in 5 runs. Jackson Amend struck out 8 in the victory. RK completed the sweep with a 13-0 victory. Teddy Krause threw a no-hitter. He struck out 11. Jacob Hunter once again hit 2 home runs, and he brought in 5. RK is now 3-1 on the year. It's going to be they're going to have a big one coming up this week. The Kings, the lone undefeated team, defeated bases loaded 19-2. Steve Dotzel hit two home runs and he drove in 7. He also struck out 5 in 3 innings. The Kings remained undefeated at 4-0 with a 16-1 victory. Jake Lukacic and George Moser each hit 2 home runs, and Alex Fashilo struck out 6 in also 3 innings. Both games went only 3 innings. In the third series of the day, the 5 Locos defeated the 5-7-0 26-0 in Game 1. Max Albee hit 4 home runs, and he drove in 12. Augie George struck out 12 in 4 innings. They scored 15 runs in the 4th inning alone. I really am surprised. I remember seeing that. I'm like, what? Someone did ask this. What happened to the 15-run rule? They scored 15 runs in 4 innings. It was, I think they were up like 10. No, they were up like 11-0 in the 4th inning. And then they scored 15. I don't have wow. And in the second game, which was actually a close game, the 5 Locos completed the sweep with a 10-7 victory. Mikey Holloway and Max Albee each drove in 3 runs. Joey Dewar struck out 11 to get the win on the mound. And in the series of the week, the False Idols defeated Scared Hitless 12-1 in Game 1. Brett Kalady and Matt Martin each homered, and Brett struck out 7 to get the win, extending the streak he has to 21 straight victories on the mound. I don't know how many. I'd like to know how many have had that happen, like 21 straight victories in BWBL. The Idols completed the sweep in Game 2, 8-0. Mike Cincy threw a no-hitter. He rebounded greatly in that match. He rebounded greatly to get a no-hitter. He did not get an out against 5 Locos, and then in the next game he throws a no-hitter. He struck out 12, and Tom Hennon hit a home run and drove in 3. Don't mind me. So, since we're 2 weeks in, I'm going to start doing some power rankings. I'll go with number 8, Jenkins Owls. They were competitive in the first week. I think they'll get better, I think, as the year goes on, but right now they're at the number 8 spot. I I did like some of their pitching, but I don't think. But right now they're 8, and they're the lone, and they're the only team without a win. At number 7, we have bases loaded. They did play the lone undefeated team, but it's a tough one to really say. It's really tough to really say there. I'm kind of very interested by some of their players. I did like the one player they brought in Brian Feliz. He has got some speed He's got some speed. It just I I just have to put them at 7. Now this is going to be a little bit controversial, but I have at number 6. I have the 570. They I like they got beat twice by. I mean, they played pretty much two contenders. It's just, and they'll have Julian Speraza back from suspension, so that'll probably help them get a few wins. At number 5, we have RK. They have a really good 1-2 punch. Teddy Krause and Jackson Amend are impressive. They're going to have a big one this week with the Kings. They're just a really, I do like their offense a little bit. I don't know if the question is, can they hit the better pitching in the league? They had a tough time against Nick. They really didn't they did okay against Jenkins Owls. At number 4, we have Scared Hitless. They're currently 1-3, but he also played the False Idols, and they played RK. Their weakness, in my opinion, is their offense. It's not I mean, they're just not the great, I don't know. They're having a tough time hitting the ball. Though they have gone up against some really good pitching in the last 4 games. So, look for that to improve. At number 3, we have the 5 Locos. The Locos, they run pretty much 4 or 5 deep pitching wise, especially if they have Artem. They struggled a little bit last in game 2, but Dewar did really well. He struck out 11. Augie's turning into a really good pitcher. He struck out 12. He's 2-0 and he struck out 12. He's doing really well. At number 2, we have the lone undefeated team. I keep getting an itch. We have the Kings, the lone undefeated team. Being fair, they're going to have a tough one this week. They're going to have RK. They have one of the best offenses in the league. They're with no question. You have Alex, you have Steve, you have Dotzel, you have Jake, you have George, and you have the all-time hits king and Andy Peck. Their pitching is usually very consistent. And they run 3 deep. They run with George, they run with Steve, and they run with Alex. I really enjoy. I do always enjoy watching their offense. And at number 1, I might be a little biased here, but I can't say much more. I am going with the False Idols. When you have the MVP, a really good offense. They're actually, and right now we're looking really good. If the Idols get the same performance out of Cincy, they're going to be a tough team to beat. Just a tough team to beat right there. You got Brett, got Tom. If Dave comes around, he'll do great. He didn't do bad either last week. Matt Martin's is hitting phenomenal first 4 games of the season. So, yeah, that's my power rankings. We'll go and recap. Owls, bases loaded, 570. Road. Scared Hitless, 5 Locos, Kings, and False Idols. That is all for those. All right, let's preview week 3. We got RK and Kings. That's an interesting one. That's probably the series of the week. I can very easily tell you that is most likely the series of the week. So, part of me thinks it's going to be a split. I just, after the playoffs last year, I felt like after that 9-inning epic, I don't know how many teams want to face Teddy right now. But they need to score. But the problem is that they're going to have to score off of. RK's problem is that they're going to need to score runs. They only scored 1 run off Nick, and then they scored. And then they went for 13 runs off Jenkins Owls. But I'm gonna go with a split here. I wouldn't be surprised if the Kings possibly sweep this one, but very easily I see split. I think both games are going to be close, though. I would not be surprised if it goes either way. Honestly, I see it either way. The next one, we got Bases Loaded and Jenkins Owls. Who made the schedule? Because this is a rematch of Week 1, and they're going to be playing each other and they're going to play each other, and they're playing each other already. Well, Bases Loaded got the sweep, actually coming back from 13-3 down to win that game. This time I can see a split. I think the Owls could win I think the Owls are going to win their first game. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. They might win their first game. Depends on who's there for Bases Loaded, however. I do know they will be down a guy because they didn't provide an umpire last week. So there's that. I still think it's going to be a split. I don't know where it's going to be. It depends on who shows up for Bases Loaded. And then next, we got 5 Locos and Scared Hitless. They're going to play each other again. So they're going to play each other again later in the year. It's a division matchup. It really depends on how Hitless's lineup fares against Augie and possibly Dewar. If Dewar's there, I think this is a split. I think this could be a split. I think Scared Hitless is going to turn. I feel like it's going to turn it around. But 5 Locos, Augie's has been pitching phenomenal the last 2 weeks. I think he can. I think Augie goes 3-0 in that one, and then it really depends on who's the second pitcher for 5 Locos. But I wouldn't be surprised. I'm saying split. I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like I think that's a split. I wouldn't be shocked by I wouldn't be surprised if it's a sweep either way, but I just think maybe, but I would be leaning more towards a 5 Locos sweep than a Scared Hitless sweep. Also, my team's on a bye week. Sad. I don't know why I did that. I just wanted to do that. But those are the games. I think I will say I'm going to go with an RK King split, a Bases Loaded Owl split, and a Loco Scared Hitless split. So those are the ones I'll go with there. I also know OLW that a couple of our guys are going to be down in Maryland. They are going to be playing, I want to say, the Horsemen. And I'll predict a Free Jack sweep. Predicting the Free Jack sweep. Okay. So, and since the NBA Finals is tonight, I am going to make a series prediction for the NBA Finals. With that, my NBA Finals prediction, if you haven't seen on TikTok already, it's going to be Denver over Miami in 6. Denver over Miami in 6. So, with all this being said, this is John Kotsko signing out. And have a good week, a good night, and I'll talk to you later.